ask ourselves, what has the globalist economy gotten the United States of America? And the answer is fundamentally it's based on two principles: incurring a huge amount of debt to buy things that other countries make for us. And to make it a little bit more crystal clear, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
What?
Let's rewind and see how this drama even started. So, China just told the world, hey, maybe don't make trade deals with the US if it means we lose money. Basically, imagine your ex sliding into your new partner's DM saying, good luck. You're gonna need it. Yep, we're talking about the latest escalation in the never-ending drama of the U.S. China trade war. China's Ministry of Commerce recently put out a statement that can only be described as diplomatic side-eye.
Bombastic side-eye. Criminal offensive side-eye.
Countries negotiating trade deals with the U.S. must not do so at China's expense. Translation? Look, do your thing, but if you step on our toes, expect steel-toed retaliation. The message continues. What we have seen is that the U.S.'s abuse of tariffs has seriously undermined WTO rules and harmed the common interests of people of all countries. I would like to emphasize once again that this tariff war was initiated by the United States, and China's position is consistent and clear. And countries like Japan and South Korea, already in the negotiation room with the U.S., nervously looking over at China like,
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Trump, meanwhile, has been slapping tariffs on Chinese goods like Oprah, giving out cars. You get a tariff, you get a tariff, everyone gets a tariff. We've seen 25% on steel, aluminum, cars, and what started as a 10% just being polite tariff turned into a full-blown fiscal beatdown. We're putting tariffs on everything. Cars, steel, aluminum. Heck, if China sends over a fortune cookie, that's getting a 25% surcharge too. Trump basically said, we've never gotten anything from China until I came along. Like a guy who takes credit for fixing the Wi-Fi by rebooting the router once.
You see what happened? I told you not to come in here! Now everyone in town thinks Chinese and the Japanese are the same fucking thing! I don't even know what the fuck you are saying!
Let's recap this international game of tariff ping pong, shall we? US. Alright, we're slapping a 10% tariff on your stuff. China. Oh, that's adorable. We'll go with 15%. US. Oh, it's like that? Fine. 34%. 34? That's cute. Cute. Try 145%. China. Say less. 125% flat. At this point, they're just throwing numbers at each other like it's a math-themed rap battle. At one point, tariffs reached 25% on cars, 25% on steel and aluminum, baseline 10% across the board, and Trump's flex?
Can't even, let's say, but we're going to make a lot of money.
But let's not forget, tariffs are taxes paid by importers. That means U.S. businesses and consumers were footing the bill, not China. Surprise, U.S. businesses and consumers were picking up the tab. Other countries are watching this like it's an episode of Keeping Up with the Trade Deficit. Japan and South Korea are caught in the middle, like, do we trade with the world's largest economy? Or the world's largest supplier of everything we actually use?
Okay, well, just hold a minute, I come in a piece. I don't believe you!
Meanwhile, the global economy is just over here biting its nails and refreshing Bloomberg every 10 minutes. Originally, people thought China would fold. Chinese exporters need American buyers. But that didn't pan out. Turns out, the dollar weakened. US inflation spiked. China's like, you need iPhones made cheap? Sit down. China pulled power moves, canceled Boeing orders, slapped tariffs on US agriculture, suspended exports of rare earth materials. That's like cutting off America's energy drinks and iPhone chips in one go. A full-blown...
You got knocked the fuck out!
Trump tried to play hardball but didn't expect China to bring the whole baseball stadium. He exempted phones, laptops, and electronics from tariffs. Why? Because Americans would riot if they couldn't afford the next iPhone or TikTok ring light. Then he asked other countries to help isolate China, but America isn't exactly the popular kid in the global cafeteria right now. China's stance now? We'll talk when y'all stop being so disrespectful.
We must get along with each other. In a world of changes and chaos, it is ever more important for us to have the mind, assume the vision, shoulder the responsibility, and play the role that come along with our status as major countries.
She isn't even showing up until America stops throwing shade via cabinet members, memes, and custom sneakers. And let's be real, If your negotiating strategy includes stop whining, as said in China Daily, you're not trying to be friends, you're trying to be the villain in the next Fast and Furious movie.
Stop whining. Your kids are soft. You lack discipline.
If this keeps going, global supply chains get more tangled than your headphones from 2006. Inflation continues cooking hotter than a wok in Beijing, and trade deals between other nations might avoid the U.S. entirely, which is ironic, because the U.S. wanted to strengthen its leverage but might end up isolating itself like that kid in group projects who insists on doing everything alone, and then forgets to submit it. Just when you thought the U.S. China trade war was going full Mortal Kombat, President Trump pulled a surprise move, the old tariff tap dance. At a White House press event, surrounded by flags, advisors, and possibly a confused intern holding a giant calculator, Trump said tariffs on Chinese goods would come down substantially, but not to zero. Because apparently, zero is just too communist. He said 145% tariffs were very high, and it won't be anywhere near that high.
Tariffs on Chinese goods.
Well, that depends on them. We have a situation where we have a very, very great place. It's called the United States of America, and it's been ripped off for years and years. These people know it. We talked about it before you came in. We've been ripped off by every country in the world, practically, and friend and foe. 145, I haven't brought it down. I said it's a high tariff. It is a high tariff, but I haven't.
Translation: we threw the kitchen sink at China, and now we'd like to politely ask for the sink back. Meanwhile, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, fresh from a J.P. Morgan investor meeting and 3 cups of premium lobbyist espresso, told investors this whole tariff showdown was unsustainable.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
A tariff war where both sides are getting nuked economically? That's not a strategy. That's just the global version of who flinches first. Wall Street loved this sudden dose of common sense. Stocks shot up faster than a meme stock on Reddit. The Hang Seng was hanging strong, Nikkei 225 was feeling alive, and even the South Korean Kospi danced like it had just aced its SATs. Don't get too comfortable. Beijing wasn't buying the charm offensive. China's foreign ministry basically said, "Talk to us like adults, not like a reality show contestant trying to negotiate for a rose." Their response was crystal clear. "We're not afraid to fight, we'll fight till the end. But if you want to talk, we've got snacks and folding chairs ready." And in the ultimate Gen Z twist, Chinese social media exploded. The hashtag Trump chickened out was trending on Weibo, racking up more than 150 million views. That's more than most K-pop bands. Somewhere in Beijing, a government official probably did a little victory dance to that TikTok remix of Cold War hot takes. But the real twist? While China was putting Boeing jets in reverse and limiting Hollywood blockbusters, Trump was still talking about how he and Xi were basically bros. "We're gonna be very nice," he said, which in trade talk means, "Please stop wrecking our soybeans." Trump wants Xi to call. Xi wants Trump to send someone not named Trump. Meanwhile, U.S. officials are just trying to figure out who's even in charge of negotiations. It's like trying to return something at Walmart without a receipt and no one knows who the manager is. And then there's the wild card. Vice President J.D. Vance, who recently made some not-so-nice comments about Chinese peasants.
For us, and to make it a little bit more crystal clear, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
Naturally, that went over in China like dropping a TikTok ban at a K-pop concert. The CCP responded with a flurry of Weibo memes, spicy op-eds, and possibly even a state-issued fortune cookie that read, "Talk trash, get trade slaps." China has made it clear it won't tolerate trade deals where they lose and America wins. So unless someone invents a magical middle ground where everyone profits and no one gets offended,
It's war!
well,
Fuck off!
if you learned something, or at least laughed once, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment below. Who do you think has the upper hand in this trade war? You've been watching Billionomics, the only place where macroeconomics gets more dramatic than reality TV. See you in the next one.